Hey, it's Chris Barnes from 6 Feet Under, original vocalist of Cannibal Corpse, and you're watching Metal Debates Podcast. Keep it brutal.
What's up, everybody? This is Toby at Metal Debates Podcast. This is literally the second time I've recorded. So I'm just impromptu. It's live. Nothing's like scripted. Chilling here with my boy Chris Barnes. Anybody got one of these? Check that shit out. Not many of those out there, probably. My buddy, story about this guy. My buddy John, Mosh and John, some of you may know him. During the there you go, Chris. During the and if you were from LA, back in the 90s, he hosted a show in LA on KNAC 105.3 or 105.5. God, it's been so long. On Monday nights, called Manic Metal. And so, true story, the city that I live in now, I moved here about 10 years ago, and my wife worked at a brewery, went in there, and I heard this dude talking. I was wearing a Down hat, the band Down, and he kind of came up to me and is like, said, "What's up?" And I kind of was like, dude, I recognize this guy's voice. And it clicked to me after he was kind of a regular in there. And my wife said his name was John. And I was like, John. And he said he was in the radio. And I'm like, oh my God, that's Mosh and John. And so I learned so much about grindcore death metal from that show. It was like 11 to midnight in LA. I don't know. I'm sure there were other shows at that time, but on other, in different markets, different cities. But dude, nothing compared to Manic Metal. So props to Mosh and John. He's a good buddy of mine. He knows I love him. So he moved away not too long ago, but doesn't matter. Like, we're still boys, and I owe a lot. He knows that, I think, to new band. Well, not new bands, old bands that were new to me back then because of his radio show. And he had this guy just chilling. He's like, man, I know you're a huge Chris Barnes fan. He's like, I want you to have this. So much respect. And I always cherish this thing. So anyways, you guys probably saw in the intro to this show, Chris was gracious enough to do an intro for us. And, he didn't have to do it. Granted, he got a little cash, cameo style, which you should. It's not, you should pay these guys, man. They're out there busting their ass. And if they mean something to you, he probably would have done it for free. But I'm like, no, let's do a cameo. And so we did a cameo, and he did the intro to the show. So I'm sure we'll get others that will do it. But, I've always been a firm believer that if you respect somebody's artistic talents, and if they've meant something to you over the years, it's like, I'm not going to ask him for something for free. Like, that's just bullshit. So, everyone's different, but that's just my style. Maybe because I've been in the music industry for a long time, and I kind of know how it works. So I know these guys, especially in the extreme metal, they ain't making shit. I mean, some of them do, but overall, especially when COVID and all this stuff shut down, people are hurting, man. So support your artists, please. Anyways, enough of that spiel. I just want to do this show today, basically on Chris Barnes, 6 Feet Under, Cannibal Corpse, kind of my take on the two different Cannibal Corpse with Fisher, Cannibal Corpse with Barnes, and then just 6 Feet Under. I'm going to do another reaction video here in a few minutes. I don't know why I even got into this reaction video thing. I never wanted to, but I just did one the other day for Exhorter, and yeah, no one's watching. We get like 20 views or whatever because we're just starting up. And I'm limiting it to only like friends and like, whatever. but everyone's saying do more of those reaction videos. We liked it a lot, so I'm gonna do one of his songs, Chris Barnes' songs. So I just want to give you guys a quick background, as much as possible, on how I discovered Chris Barnes. And just to let you guys know, I don't know him personally. I've met him one time, like as a fan, like 20 years ago, 25 years ago. So I have no, ties to him. I have nothing to say bad or good, like that I'm being paid for or anything like that. I'm just strictly a fan. So whatever I say, that's just my opinion. And, you have your opinion, I have mine. That's why we're on here, to debate shit. So whatever. So my first experience ever with, I'm not going to just say Chris Barnes, I'll say Cannibal Corpse. I was a senior, I want to say, or a junior in high school. I think a senior. I don't even remember. But so that's just bad, so long ago. But Butchered at Birth came out, and somebody had the CD, and there was a small group of us at the time. I had hair down to here, and we all kind of like hung out together. So during like lunch or some shit, somebody gave me the Butchered at Birth CD and said, check this out. So I actually took it with me, put it in my backpack. And during English class, I'll never forget this. I took it out of my backpack. It was super boring, of course. So halfway during the class, I'm just kind of like putting my head down on the desk, hair, you couldn't see my face. I was actually reading the little insert to the CD. And it came to this part where I want to say it was serial killers that were talking, like it was like direct quotes, and it was like it was the gnarliest shit like you'll ever read. So if you have the original, I don't know if the new school one censored or whatever, but the original Butchered at Birth CD inlet, read those quotes from these serial killers. I started dying laughing so hard that I could not stop. I just have a sick sense of humor. I've always had it that way. It's not like I'm taking this stuff serious, and I think that's what this is meant to be. It's not meant to be like, oh, I'm going to read this and go kill somebody. It's like, I just think it's hilarious, like watching a stupid slapstick, horror movie. It's so silly. I mean, granted, these were actual serial killers, so you got to take it a little seriously because these guys are demented as fuck. But as far as me just reading them, it was hilarious. Just the stuff they were saying, it's just like you can't make that shit up. So then I got into reading, starting, I don't even remember the order of that record, but I think, what was it, Meat Hook Sodomy or something? Just even the name, Meat Hook Sodomy, showing the babies dangling down on the things. Like, it's so brutal. And I was just dying laughing hysterically. And my buddy that was sitting behind me, in the desk behind me, we kept passing it back and forth, and we were reading it, and we both were it got to that point where, when you start laughing and you can't stop laughing. That's where it got. And finally the teachers just like stopped the entire class and came up and is like, what's so funny going on over here? And so I remember it's like the whole class is staring at us, and it's like, I don't really want to say out loud. He goes, if it's so funny, just say it. And I'm like, I really don't want to talk about like some baby being put in the oven or whatever they were saying. I shouldn't even laugh at that. It's brutal. I get it. But I'm not going to say that shit out loud. I'll probably go to jail. So nonetheless, I just literally, he's like, what is that you have in your hand? So he took the CD booklet out of his hand, out of my hand, and he started reading it. And so I just remember watching his eyes. He's staring at the lyric, at the booklet of the CD, reading those quotes from the serial killers. That's exactly what I was reading when he took it away from me. And he stared at me after reading about, I don't know, maybe like 5 seconds worth of it. And he goes, Toby, I was worried about your grades in this class, Now I'm worried about your soul. And just like stared at me like I'm going to hell. I'm in a, like, I was like, whoa, dude. Like, like it was pretty intense. But, and that's why it still sticks to me. But at the same time, I'm just like in my head, like, I'm not taking this shit serious. Like, give me a break. So that's how I literally got introduced to Cannibal Corpse, and obviously the lyrics that Chris Barnes wrote for that was just ridiculous. Um, Another one of my buddies, really quick, same exact CD, gave it to him. He took it to class. Teacher sent him to the guidance counselor because it was so disturbing. And he passed away, my buddy, unfortunately, quite a while ago now. But he got sent to the guidance counselor because of that CD in his hand. And they were asking him all kinds of questions like, do you feel like the urge to kill people? Do you have violent thoughts? And he was just like, no, like, this is just a CD. Like, give me a break. That's not my gig. Like, whatever. So he had to go to like different counseling sessions for like a long time after that. And Barnes, I know Chris, I actually sent him a photo of this. We had season passes to go snowboarding all the time. And my buddy that I'm talking about, who passed away, had long hair. He actually looked like Barnes in a little weird way. We had season passes to go snowboarding up in the mountains. And at that point, they never even asked for a picture ID. So when they said, what is your name? He said, Chris Barnes. So on his season pass, I wish I had it right now. I'd put it on the screen. But it said season pass, Chris Barnes, with his long hair. And we were going on getting on the lift, and the guy checked his pass and he looked at it and he's like, dude, I love your music, man. So that's always a great story that I'll remember. But all that being said, there's just nothing. I don't care what anybody says. This is a debate podcast, supposedly, and it'll turn into that more as we get going. But there's nobody as crazy and as badass and innovative as Chris Barnes. So I don't care if you guys out there watching this hate him, or I don't even know why you'd hate him. Maybe you've had a personal experience. I don't know. I don't know him. So, but he seems cool to me. It seems like he just smokes a lot of weed and chills out. But, you know, you hear a lot of bullshit on the internet all the time about people talking shit. And obviously I don't pay attention to that crap, but, I just think, when it comes to Barnes, it's like, you cannot ever, there's nobody in history that has done what he's done or started like a revolution in the type of music that he did. That guttural vocal with combined with the sickness lyrics, or sickening, whatever you want to say, lyrics, can't do it. So I have a special place in my heart for his artistic, abilities and what he's done, as sick as it is. And I think a lot of you old school guys out there that are watching this right now understand what I'm saying. So when I get into talking about Cannibal Corpse versus 6 Feet Under versus old school Cannibal, George Fisher era, 6 Feet Under, I don't come with this for anything personal. I don't know any of these guys personally. Believe it or not, I know a lot of bands and a lot of death metal bands, but I've never even met Chris Barnes other than like at a fan experience at a show one time. So, but I'm just going to talk musically here. So Cannibal Corpse was for sure the first band that ever got me into the extreme death metal. I think before that, maybe I was listening to Sepultura and things like that, but that was just like a whole new level. So, Butchered at Birth, I went back and got, Eaten Back to Life. I did not have that before Butchered at Birth, but then Tomb of the Mutilated came out, and it was just like, when I got that, I was just like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, that was some serious shit right there. To this day, that album will hold its ground to any of these so-called like brutal death metal bands that I guess there's a new genre, or was one, called brutal death metal. And all it was is these guys, pigs squealing, and I don't know. God bless you. It was a younger generation thing. I'm an old fuck, so whatever. But that album, still to this day, I would say probably holds up to any of those, even those new school kids that were really hated, just regular death metal and wanted the whatever they do is just so dumb to me. But that, whatever, I get it. Generations change, evolution of metal. Anyways, so I'm rambling, of course, because this is a live thing. So you could turn it off if you want. If not, keep listening. Cool. That Tomb of the Mutilated record was, even though Butchered at Birth was absolutely the most amazing thing I ever heard, or craziest thing. I don't know about amazing at the time. It was just like, what the fuck? Tomb of the Mutilated was a whole nother level. So we would blast that at parties. We'd like sneak into people's like stereo systems at like a house party and just put the CD in and just crank it and just watch them freak out. Like it was amazing. Without rambling on that one, which I already did, then we go up to the Bleeding. The Bleeding just was like, okay, now we kind of went from just being as brutal and crazy and I don't know, sick as fuck, to maturing a little bit. But at the same time, it was still Cannibal Corpse. It was still obviously Chris Barnes. It was just another evolution of the band. And so from Butchered at Birth all the way up to the Bleeding, it was still brutal. It was still Cannibal Corpse, no question about it. And then they changed singers. And at that time, there was no internet. So basically, I didn't, honestly, I had no idea that he was not on Vile until I bought Vile, brought it home, put it in the CD player, didn't look at the liner notes or who was in the band or whatever. I'm just like, oh, let's check this out. So put it in, and the first like scream on that, whatever the first song's called, I was like, huh, that's weird. And then when the vocals kicked in, I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I'm not saying this to dish Fisher at all. Like, I think that guy's a great dude and everything, and respect that guy. It's just, it wasn't Chris Barnes. It wasn't it was just different. So then I'm like, this, even the sounds of the guitars, like the production, everything seemed a little off to me as far as a Cannibal Corpse fan. So I looked at the little liner notes or in the back, and it said Corpse Grinder Fisher. And I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't Chris Barnes? So it's like, we didn't have internet then. So it's like, how do you even look anything up? But I'm like, fuck, why is he not in the band? So no one even knew. And at the same time that came out, there was like at the record stores, that's about all you'd see, or some like magazines, I guess back then zines. It would say like 6 Feet Under featuring Chris Barnes, Haunted coming soon. And I was like, whoa. So, okay. So I remember when that record came out, and I don't know if it's back. No, it had to came out after I don't know. I'm not looking at anything. It had to have came out after Vile, but probably not that long after Vile. So I went and bought that record. I just remember it was like the little spiral thing on the CD. And as soon as you put it in, it was just like different. Okay. Groovy. And then you just hear the vocals come in, and it's like, oh, fuck yeah, that's Barnes. Like, so I don't know. I just, for whatever reason, I just was like, I just followed 6 Feet Under, and I kind of was like disinterested now in Cannibal Corpse at that point, because it was like, I like the vocal, the deep, just crazy guttural vocal with the sick lyrics, just the whole package, even the logo. Like the original Cannibal Corpse logo versus the new one. No, it's like the whole thing changed to me. So I'm not dissing anybody that likes, the post Barnes Cannibal Corpse, because I'm sure most of the people that are into that are a lot younger than me. So, or maybe you got into them after the Barnes era, and it's like whatever. So, but that being said, Barnes just, I love that first 6 Feet Under record. To this day, it's still one of my favorite records. And you know, went to Warpath, and then 6 Feet Under did Maximum Violence, which, you know, you got to get over the fact that it's not Cannibal Corpse, it's a different band. And it's like, you know, you can't just, he's going to change, he's not going to do the same thing and try to just copy Cannibal Corpse. So I did like the fact that it was still, it had its moments of being fast, but it was more groovy, still had his vocals going on, and it was, I loved it. As the evolution of 6 Feet Under went on, Cannibal Corpse went and did their thing. It seems like Cannibal Corpse kind of got more technical. Their production style got a little more monotonous to me, just kind of more, I don't know. I'm probably just talking out of my ass, but I don't even know how to describe it. Just, it seemed like all the records sounded the same to me, like different song titles, but it just sounded the same. Yeah, there were some that stood out, and I still enjoy some of the post Barnes Cannibal Corpse stuff, but it's just not the same as far as like the whole horror vibe, the creepy vibe. I don't know. There's something missing that the original Cannibal Corpse had. And maybe it has more to do with nostalgia and how I got into them, but I don't know. You guys tell me, what do you think? A lot of people talk shit on 6 Feet Under online. It's like you get these kids that just are like, they don't even know who Chris Barnes is or his role of being an absolute, complete, iconic, just game changer in brutal death metal scene. Like, there's nobody that, he's an innovator, man. So it's like, yeah, he changed the way he delivers his vocals in different records. He tried to change it up, which, God bless Fisher. He seems like a cool dude. Never met him either. I'd probably love to hang out and have a beer with that guy. But every single vocal pattern and every single way, everything he does on every record sounds the exact same. At least if you like it or don't like it, you can't say that about Barnes. He switches it up. A lot of people say his voice now, we're up to, I don't even know how many records they put out. I think the last one, God, it had that Amputator song, which is fucking classic. People get all pissy because he does that. I think it's hilarious. But to each their own. So I know I just talked your ear off. I'm going to play an actual song right now from 6 Feet Under. And this is from the album. Oh, God, there's so many of them. There was Undead, Unburied, like something. I think there was even a remake one. I don't remember, but I think this one was from Undead. And we're going to get more into the Chris Barnes versus Corpse Grinder thing in a minute. But I'm going to do a little reaction video here to it. This is a song called 18 Days. And this is off on Undead, Metal Blade Records, of course. And I don't know, to me, this song is kind of like, when I heard this, I was like, whoa, dude, this is more like the Bleeding type Cannibal Corpse in a way. And that's when they kind of switched their whole band for the most part. I think Kevin Talley was on drums on that one, and Rob Arnold. And when Rob Arnold came in, it's almost like he was like, let's try to make this shit sound more like the Bleeding. Like, I almost felt that vibe on that record, even though it's still very 6 Feet Under. It had a little bit more creepiness and a little more like, I don't know, the Bleeding type vibe to it to me. But I don't know. You guys can tell me. I'm going to play it right now. Let me put my headphones on. And this is called 18 Days. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it. Maybe you haven't. I'm going to react to it. I've literally not heard this song in at least 5 or 6 years. So this is going to be kind of cool. This is a lyric video to it. So you guys will be able to see the lyrics, which are obvious Chris Barnes. So here we go. This is 18 Days by 6 Feet Under. Little it's like a bleeding right there. Yeah. So yeah, it's a short one, but it's a good one. So yeah, I don't know. I think when this record came out, it kind of kicked the ass of that band, and ever since then, they've kind of changed a little bit and got a little, I don't know, heavier, crazier, faster. Seems like before then, I don't know, but like that album 13, I don't know. Like I like all their stuff, and I get it when people say like, "Oh God," like the new record, they're like, "Oh, Barnes sounds like crap." Like, "Oh, I can't even believe he put it out." It's like, yeah, I get what you're saying, but the dude doesn't do anything he doesn't want to do. If he still wanted to try to do gutturals, he could do it. I know he could. He still does, but he just doesn't give a fuck. Like he doesn't have anything to prove to anybody. So that song we just heard was just, I mean, how do you not like that shit as a death metal fan? So even if you think, oh, they're death and roll, or Barnes has lost his shit or whatever, it's like, give me a break. So back to the comparison between Barnes and Corpse Grinder Fisher. I don't know why people actually do compare the two, because there's no reason. Corpse Grinder stepped into Cannibal Corpse because he was hired to do a job. He doesn't write his own lyrics. Not that I'm like, yeah, that could be a passive aggressive comment I just said, but I don't mean it in a disrespectful way. I'm just saying I think it's the band Cannibal Corpse now is more controlled just by two dudes rather than a full band. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, debate me. I don't know. But I don't know. I just respect the fact that Chris Barnes still writes his own lyrics, passionate about it. And that's just my gig. So I like both versions, I guess, of Cannibal Corpse, but nah, I guess I don't. I don't really like the new version after Barnes left, and I really enjoy almost all of. Even people talk shit on those Graveyard Classics albums. Like I'll read online. It's like, what do you expect? Like, do you think he's going into the studio singing an AC/DC song using guttural vocals, thinking, oh, I'm going to make this better than the original? It's like, no, you go in there going, this is going to be hilarious. We're going to do an AC/DC song with my vocals and it's going to be funny. And if you're a death metal fan, you might find it humorous, or when we play it live, it'll come across great. So it's like, there's also songs like the Slayer song "At Dawn They Sleep." It's fucking brutal. Like, I swear to God, if you listen to that song and tell me that it's not badass, or even what was it, the Metallica "Frayed Ends of Sanity" on Graveyard Classics, there are some songs on those albums that are badass. But I get it. Yeah, it's a parody. A lot of it's parody. You know, it's like, we're gonna do this song by this artist that has nothing to do with death metal and make it death metal. And yeah, of course it sounds kind of funny. So don't take everything so goddamn serious, everybody. It's just metal. So it's meant to be, in my opinion, metal's meant to be a little bit funny in a way. You shouldn't take everything so seriously. Even those black metal bands that talk about burning churches and shit. It's like, most of that, yeah, there's the ones that are nut jobs and they actually do stupid shit, but most of it is just to get your attention and piss people off. So anyways, I've rambled on and on. I've been sick all week, so bear with me. I'm probably rambling more than normal. And again, this is just impromptu live. So I would love to hear any comments you guys have. I'm sure I missed a million points or what I was trying to make. You could see I have nothing on my, well, maybe you can't see. I have no notes written down. I'm just talking out of my ass right now. So I don't know how long this has been. Doesn't even fucking half an hour. So if anybody's still watching this right now, God bless you. Actually, email me or text me or whatever, wherever you're watching this, say I watched the entire thing, and I swear to God, I'll send you something just for the fuck of it. I got tons of black metal, death metal, grindcore memorabilia. I'll just send you anything, because I don't know, no one should have to listen to a half an hour of me just rambling like this. And anyways, thanks to Chris Barnes, much respect. He is one of my idols. Yeah, that was gay, but whatever. I don't know, innovator. Give the dude respect. Love him or hate him, how he sounds now, what he's doing now, what you think of how he looks, sounds, whatever the fuck. The guy's a goddamn fucking innovator. Like I said it a million times. So thanks to Chris Barnes. Thanks to everybody that's still watching this. This, I promise you, it won't be like this all the time. We'll change the backdrop. This is all just kind of getting shit squared away until we get stuff dialed in. So thank you very much for watching. And I guess we'll do another one of these as soon as I get something, a hair up my ass, and do another one. Until then, peace out, you guys. Rock on.